So today what we're going to work on is the 2012 Polaris Sportsman 400 HO, and what I'm going to be doing is pulling out the old clutch, which is stock, and installing the Duraclutch R-Series two-piece kit. When I ordered this clutch kit, it came in fast. It was here within 3 days. When I ordered it, I also selected ordering a couple other tools to help me install, and then after I get done getting this install done, next week I'm going to take this to the track. I'm going to break in the belt after I get it installed and see what kind of performance difference we have. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to remove the old clutch and I want to compare it side by side with the new clutch. So give us just a second. We are going to get this old clutch pulled apart. I'm going to show you all how to do it step by step. The Duraclutch does have videos on YouTube already showing this process, but I'm going to go through it too. Just want to see what it's like. So now what we're going to do is take off this primary clutch. Again, I did watch that video. I read the instructions, got all the tools out that I need, and I'm curious myself to see exactly how smooth this goes. So let's go ahead and get this primary off. Okay. Stock hardware. I'm just kind of inspecting it myself to see what it looks like, make sure there's no damage to it. Looks good to me. This is the clutch puller that I ordered with the kit. I needed that because I did not have one. But that thread started pretty good in there. Okay. And it popped right off with no problem whatsoever. That is awesome. So now I will set this to the side because, again, I want to do a side-by-side comparison of these two before I put anything else together. So next what we're going to go ahead and do is take off the secondary clutch. Get my tools together here. It still looks brand new. It only has 318 miles on it, so most of this stuff should look brand new. All right. Also states to keep the factory washers, spacers in place, and they are still on there. So now I want to get this over the table and compare this with the Duraclutch. All right, so here's the stock secondary clutch, and here's the Duraclutch secondary. Let's take a look at this one all the way around here. So there is a lot of difference visually on these two, obviously, but looks great. Well, let's go over here to the primary. Now, one thing I do like, how this is all exposed, and then you go to Duraclutch is how it's housed. I like this because I do believe that will cut down on a lot of filth getting up in the areas where you really don't want it to be. So yeah, just visually looking at them, there is a difference all the way across the board with them. I think this is going to be a good, pleasant setup, easy to go already. So let's go ahead and get this put in. So next what I'm going to do is I got some all-purpose parts cleaner and some rags. I'm going to get in here and clean out everything I possibly can. I'm going to clean the shafts off, just make sure I got a good, nice, clean area. All right, after I got everything cleaned up here, I just realized I did not order a gasket for this. So I'm going to have to jump online and order another gasket for my housing here. But we're going to get the secondary clutch installed and then move over to the primary. All right, so putting the secondary clutch on first, clean up the hardware. This is the original hardware that came off of the machine. Per the instructions, that's what it says to do because this is a 400. Also states to add blue Loctite. Went ahead and sprayed this down, got it cleaned up and ready. So let's go ahead and get this on. I'm not gonna overdo it. I want it to spread out there. Okay, now that that's on there, thread it in by hand, and I will take the torque wrench to it later to set to the proper foot-pounds. So I want to check how this belt spins before I tighten everything up. Okay, now one thing I am going to do, because I did notice there's quite a bit of dust inside the secondary here, is I'm just going to take a rag with some parts cleaner and clean the insides of that wall. Just let it spin there. Okay, give me a dry rag. These shop towels are nice because you don't get all that lint build up on it. All right, I changed my mind. I'm gonna go ahead and torque this down. That way, if there is no alignment needed, it's all set and done. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this at 20 foot-pounds here. All right, so that is 20 foot-pounds. I wanna put a little piece of angle behind it to keep it still for me. And now we will move on to putting the belt on here. It states to have the numbers facing me, which they are, just like this. Slide it over the secondary. It also states that I need to open that up with the tool here. Okay. Fairly simple, goes right in there. Nice, okay. So next what we're gonna do is go ahead and put this primary on. It says then to slide the belt onto it, just like so. Get it lined up there. That was easy. Again, my hardware, I am going to spray that off. Clean off the threads. I want nothing funky in there. I have all the original manufacturer equipment on it. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this tightened up with this first. Not gonna go overboard with it. Then, let's see here. So what I'm gonna do is use this tool here that I also ordered to help keep this still while I put this at 47 foot-pounds. It's kind of cool the way it works. You got this notch here and this notch. What you're gonna do is line it up. I don't know the technical term for this, but I'm gonna call it the hump. And these little slots here will go in these fins. So hump 1 and hump 2. And then I'm gonna rotate this down until it stops right here at the floorboard. I'm going to set my torque at 47. So there's 40 and 7. Tighten that down. Impact off there. Oh yeah, that tool is a big help. Keeps it completely still. One, 2, 3. Most people do 2 clicks and call it a day. I go a little extra and do 3. So let's get this off here now. This right here, awesome. Love it. So anyways, let's go ahead and spin this a few times so it settles. Okay. All right, now I'm going to start the machine up. And that way we can see if this belt is spinning or if it is stationary. So now we're going to start it up to see if we need to adjust the secondary or not. You can see that belt is spinning. So we're going to take this off and do some alignment. All right, what I did is I went ahead and got this thing lined up. The reason is because I was having some trouble with these spacers right here. And I'll tell you what I did. But I did get the machine fully lined up, and it is, the belt is smooth as could be right now, exactly where it should be. So all I had to do was take this off, reach back in here and grab these washers. Now, where I was having problems is I had my stock washers on there, and even adding the shims that came with it still had me riding on the back of this primary. So I had to go to the hardware store, get some zinc machine spacers, and they worked out perfect. I was able to line this thing up to perfection. But just to be on the safe side, I did go ahead and get on Polaris's website, and I ordered a bunch of the OEM shims for this. And I will take these zinc ones that I bought from Ace Hardware off. I don't know that it will cause any problems, but to be safe, that is what I'm doing. There is a little bit of a difference between the one I bought and the factory. You got a good zoom on that? Yep. There's a little bit of thickness difference there. So when I get those other ones OEM, I'm going to take these off, put the OEMs back on. But I just wanted to see what was going on here, why I couldn't get this thing lined up. I was wanting to ride that back wall too much. And all it was a spacer situation. I didn't have thick enough or enough shims. I keep calling them spacers, shims, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, I've got all that put back on there. I'll put these back on. Just like so. And then I will be right back. All right, so we're put back together. Got the proper shims in there for alignment. We're going to start this machine back up so you can see how this belt is going to turn. Go ahead. Power on. There you go. Now what I'm going to do, go ahead and cut that machine off. Now I'm going to get another video here on the inside so you can see what that spacing looks like. Give me just a second. All right, so if you look down in here, what you're going to see on each side of the wall, you got a nice little space there. Looks like it's evened out over here too. I just can't get my phone all the way back in here with the camera because of the plastic housing. Let me see there. There's a gas line in my way. Maybe that's a little better. So yeah, as you can see, I got my space in there. We're not rubbing the wall anymore. Come over here, same thing. So we are good to go. We'll get this thing put back together. I'll take it out in the alley here, drive it around a couple times, and see what we got. All right, so we got the Duraclutch R-Series installed on the 2012 Polaris 400HO. This thing has an original 318 miles on it. Actually, when I got it, it had like 116 or something like that. Immediately, when I took this around, just drove it around the alley a few times, I could tell a definite difference in the way it handles. And the biggest thing, which I only tried it once because I wanted to see what kind of extra power it added, I goosed this thing and them front wheels come up off that ground a couple feet. And that was just with me in this position without having to stand up and rear back on it and really get on it. So that tells me it did add a lot more to it. I'm going to get this belt broke in, drive it around, and then this weekend I'm going to get some videos of some hills that I like to climb at a park I go to. The machine really did struggle on some of those hills, and I'm really curious of what it's going to do now, and also coming down with the engine braking. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any questions, reach out anytime, and I'll do my best to give you my feedback and input on it as time goes on. Go around and get a little picture of the machine. It is still a little dirty from my last ride. I did not fully spray it off, just kind of half-assed it. But again, my goal with this machine, lift it up, put some different axles on it, wheel spacers, bigger tires, and reject the carb and throw a K&N air filter in it. And I think that's going to give me a lot more power by the time I'm done beefing this thing up. So again, you can find me on Weld Snob and at Mud Snob, both of them. So thanks, guys. Have a good one.